how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What's Poppin' Podcast, episode number 19.
I think it's 19, yes.
Yeah, we're pretty
not,
close.
You can check the title.
yeah. We're not. I know we're not at 20 yet. Anyways, It's nice to see everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, listening or watching over on YouTube. Appreciate it. I hope you guys are being safe. Today we have not so much, lots of news for you guys. Got a couple of things here and there, very interesting ones too. And then we also want to cover, just kind of give a mini review of what we've been watching on HBO Max, because HBO Max officially released last week on, I believe, Tuesday, if I'm correct.
I think it was Tuesday.
It was Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Wednesday.
So it released on Wednesday, and I just kind of want to give like our brief thoughts, whether if it's worth subscribing right now or if you should wait a little bit. Do they have enough movies and shows in their catalog? And we'll definitely deep dive into it for sure, and let you guys know some of the stuff we've been watching. But before we actually start the show, I definitely wanted to acknowledge the whole madness that's been going on. Obviously, we don't want to make that about the show, because this is a movie-based podcast. This isn't, stuff that sometimes we'll touch on real life stuff because it is affecting us as as humans. You know what I mean? So, but I just want to say that we are here. We're supporting any and all good cause, and for sure, like, you guys should stay safe, guys. If you guys are gonna go protest, make sure you guys wear protective eyewear, wear a mask, and stuff like that, guys. And please, just by all means, try and stay safe. If you don't need to leave, then don't leave your house. And I know they're starting rolling out curfews for me. I don't think they have for you, right?
Not in my area, no. But that's mostly because I live in such a small kind of rural area. But nonetheless, guys, just spread love as where you can. Peaceful protests, being kind to one another, no matter which side of the line you're on, is very key here. Guys, I just want to say we all need to love each other very, very much, and there's no place in this community or any community for hatred towards each other, period. So stay safe, love each other, and let's get into some movie talk, shall we?
Absolutely. So let's do it. If you want to go ahead and kick it off, Tim, we'll see what we got.
Absolutely. Well, okay. So this one's kind of interesting because we got a piece of news and then it was updated 2 days later. So the first piece of news that we got came on May 27th from Discussing Film, that Henry Cavill is in talks to join an upcoming DC movie. What do you think it could be? Which I'd like to pause there real quick to say, when I saw this, I thought two things. Well, duh, he was great as Superman, and I would love to see him in Man of Steel 2, since we still haven't technically gotten a sequel to that.
Right.
Which is kind of mind-boggling to me, because that movie came out, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, 2013.
No, yeah, you're right. So roughly around there, I would say.
That's 7 years that movie came out, and we still don't have a sequel to it. And in like an era...
2013.
Yeah, and in an era of comic book movies getting, spinning off universes and sequels and here and there, I understand that the universe kind of continued from there, but it's kind of weird that they haven't gotten a Man of Steel 2 when we have had like all these other movies get kind of sequels or more or less that. But yeah, no, that was kind of interesting for me anyway. Did you have any movies that you were immediately like, oh, I would love to see him in this? Or
Shazam.
There you go. I like that.
The ending of Shazam left it wide open. They didn't show his face. They just showed the body, the S, and I immediately like, dude, why would you not want to start Shazam 2 with Henry Cavill making his cameo somewhere in there? Not obviously super involved in the film, but just have him be there, and he is aware that Shazam exists.
For sure.
So I feel like that'd probably be the best way of introducing Henry Cavill back in as Superman.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then eventually do the whole Man of Steel thing. Or have him appear in, let's say, Black Adam, because that's supposed to be a thing that's supposed to come out too.
True. I forgot they're doing that as like a solo movie, not even as a Shazam 2. It's like its own.
Well, I'm assuming that he's gonna be brought up, or he's gonna get cameoed in Shazam 2. That would be a stupid decision if they don't.
Yeah,
because yeah,
you got to build up some hype for something.
And plus, there is like I think it's a deleted scene, or if it's an end scene, where they talk about the extra seat on the throne. Now there's an extra one.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
There is. And so they referring to Black Adam, but he's nowhere there. So,
okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there's already a reference. So hopefully we can get that. But I'm happy with that, dude. I'm happy that Henry Cavill is being, still talked about to be in the DC universe as of right now. I know this was news.
Yeah. So this was where it kind of got interesting.
Yeah, here's the follow-up. So go ahead.
2 days later, a clarification came out saying Henry Cavill is currently not in talks to cameo as Superman in any upcoming DC film, which is an interesting way to phrase it first and foremost, I should say. I'll read that again. He's not in talks to cameo as Superman in any upcoming DC film. However, Henry Cavill and Warner Brothers are currently having exploratory talks regarding what Cavill's return as Superman could look like. So him being more than a cameo isn't ruled out with this.
Yeah.
So he could be more involved than you thought, maybe with Shazam or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe like a mentor to a kid with all the powers now and stuff.
That would make sense. That's a good idea. Yeah. That could be a pretty good story of how to, make sure he's doing the right thing, or how to save lives and, think of others, whatever, right? He's just basic mentor stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just happy that he's still considered as Superman, because I can't see anybody else at the moment, dude. I think Henry Cavill did a great job as Superman. I even think Ben Affleck did a great job as Batman. Personally, I think he did. Yeah. I think he just didn't get his moment to actually get his own film.
Yeah, and I know that there was also a lot of studio involvement with a lot of the DC films too, that kind of muddied the waters, and it's just kind of been a bit of a murky mess. But in regards to Henry Cavill, he had some big shoes to fill, not even just in regards to the character of Superman, who alone is pretty iconic. I would say he's one of the most, if not the most iconic superhero ever. You think superhero, in the top 3, there's always Superman.
Of course.
But he also had to follow up the absolutely iconic Christopher Reeves Superman, which they did
in my eyes, he's always been the best Superman.
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeves has always been, just because the first 2, I really loved.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. They did a small, tiny little reference. I don't know if anyone else caught this or remembers this in Man of Steel, where his face kind of turns into Christopher Reeves for just a moment when he's like fighting like a gravity thing near the end of the movie. And I thought that was a really nice touch. But for some reason, people also, like to have issues with a character if they're not perfect. But overall, I think he's done a marvelous job of
I think
filling those shoes. Man.
Not only that, but he's done great for himself after the roles of Superman, to show that he's a good actor, dude.
Yep.
And I mean, look at him in The Witcher, dude. And everybody was shitting on him when he got announced as The Witcher. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people were just like, no, like Henry Cavill, the Superman guy, kind of, reminds me of the whole, thing of when people were casting, Batman or the Joker. Is just like,
have faith,
man, have faith.
But yeah, every time you mention The Witcher, it makes me immediately go, where's season 2? I need that immediately.
I know. You're right, man. Hopefully they were almost done filming. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they probably had to stop production.
They probably had to stop.
With the whole COVID thing. But dude, this is great. I'm happy that he's being, talked into possibly coming in even more than just a cameo, maybe a whole new film. Man of Steel 2, like I said, would just makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
To get that and to actually set the story like in a good direction, write a good story. Don't focus so much on this whole, Justice League stuff, because Yeah, that time period between Batman, Superman, and Justice League was just a giant mess because they were like, I don't know. In my eyes, it just seemed like DC was having like a panic attack where it's just like, fuck, Marvel is just kicking our ass, and we need to compete with them. And I just like when they're in their own lane and their own fucking thing. And as of lately, it just seems that they have been, and they've been doing really great. I mean, they got one or two movie hiccups that were like, Harley Quinn. But I do think that they're heading in a better direction so far with like Shazam,
absolutely,
Joker, and just they're and then we also have the new Suicide Squad movie coming out with James Gunn directing.
Which I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be fascinating.
I think it's going to be phenomenal, man. I can't wait. And he's already in the editing process to that too, so that's great, So yes, please bring back Henry Cavill in Superman or Man of Steel 2 or in Shazam as a bigger role than we thought he was in being. I'd be down with that.
For sure. And then in more DC news, the Batman, the one we've been salivating over for months now, has been given permission to resume filming in the UK, which I'm really happy about. I still think we got to be cautious in the world about this whole virus crap. So long as they're very careful with the way they continue filming, fantastic across the board. I want to see this so badly, because every single piece of news that we have gotten about this movie only just is like, yes, I just want to start screaming yes about it. It's just
right. And there has been like, for the past like week or two, there's been like little quotes and stuff of, I guess, reporters interviewing some of the actors on how they feel about some of the roles and the story that Matt Reeves has made up. And it's just getting me more and more excited, man, because seeing the enthusiasm from the actors about playing the roles as the Riddler, the Penguin, Catwoman, it's just like, yes, man. I love it when they're excited themselves to play the character,
And
it's not just another role for them. It's like something iconic for them. So this is great, and I hope it comes out as great. I'm just happy they're giving them the okay to shoot, and I hope they take the safest precautions with not just with the actors but the crew behind the scenes, taking care of everything to prevent anybody from getting sick or whatever. Just whatever they got to do. Hopefully everyone is safe. But this is great news, man. They get to continue filming.
Yeah, I gotta say on your comment about seeing the cast and crew and actors being excited for the parts they have to play, it's really fun when you see that and you can tell it's not PR, because there's sometimes the actors think they're better than they are at acting, and the spot over there like, how excited are you for the movie? And they're like, dude, Alvin and the Chipmunks #7 is like the best project I've ever worked on. And I'm like, yeah, you're lying. I can see it. But when you see certain actors, especially like with this Batman project, who are like, no, I'm really pumped for this, and they're being genuine, I'm like, let's do this, man. I'm so excited.
And you can just tell, like I said, it's not just like another role for them. They're genuinely excited. Can't wait to just go back to shooting. And I've been seeing them, or what was it, Robert Pattinson? He's been like still working out, staying in shape, during this whole time.
Because he mentioned in that interview a while back, we covered it very, very briefly, I think, of him saying, nah, not been working out at all. Don't care about the role. And everyone's like, what? You can't do that if you're a Batman. Turns out he is. It's sarcasm. It just doesn't read through text, especially when it's in an interview. So just have faith, people.
Yeah, dude, especially through text. Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's great news, man. So that's pretty much it for
news. I'm going to go ahead and toss the baton over to you, my friend.
All right, so we got 5 pieces of news here, and then we're going to definitely jump into some HBO Max stuff. Okay. First bit of news is the show Cobra Kai. Ooh. Have you ever heard of it? Have you ever seen it?
I saw the first season on YouTube. I don't know if I've ever heard the second season. I don't know if it was better or worse or beyond that.
It's a good follow-up. It is a great follow-up. Cool. Yeah. So for those of you that are unaware with Cobra Kai is a spin-off series to the original Karate Kid. Yes, the 1980s one. Starting is it Ralph Macchio, if I'm correct? That is the main actor's name. Yeah. So they were renewed for a new season, so season 3 will be coming, right? Let me go ahead and reframe that. Let me go ahead and
Okay.
retract that.
Uh-oh.
We got some news here that season 3 will not release on YouTube Premium and will
Okay.
instead move to another streaming service, with Netflix and Hulu leading the short list of contenders to acquire the series. So,
Wow.
in my personal opinion, this show and another show called Wayne, that I really liked a lot, by the way. Some of you might, that are listening or watching might know what I'm talking about. Are by far the best 2 shows that YouTube had like on their streaming service.
Right.
Anything else was really
Subpar.
bad.
Yeah.
Just, like, but Cobra Kai and Wayne, in my opinion, were like great, dude. They were great. It just seemed like the production quality and everything, if it was just slightly a little bit better, the show would be even greater.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Yeah,
good news.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's actually pretty impressive, to be honest. Like, YouTube is where anybody can go. Yeah, these shows were very, very heavily funded by YouTube, but still, to move from basically just a website platform of YouTube to now being a part of a major streaming service, whether it's going to be Hulu or Netflix.
I personally hope Netflix. Personally,
same. Yeah, I don't have a Hulu.
Yeah, if they can somehow acquire all 3 seasons onto there, not just the 3rd season, that'd be amazing.
Good. That'd be great.
Like, if they can, so everybody can watch them or whatever. Not sure if that's gonna happen or not, but regardless, I hope it ends up on Netflix. Hulu's not bad either, don't get me wrong, but I just know a lot more people that have Netflix and Hulu, and that have always wanted to watch the Cobra Kai series, but
they don't want to do that extra monthly fee.
Nobody really wanted to pay for YouTube Premium, so this is that's what I mean. Like, this is great news that it's going on a big streaming platform or a streaming service that people can, now it would give the show more attention than it deserves. Personally, like, it was already getting great attention, but now it's like this is the doors are open for them to expand like production quality and certain things, maybe hire some other actors in there. I
was gonna say like set cast coordination of stunts, all of it will improve from this. So this is only good news for sure.
Yeah, I think this is great news. It's not a cancel, it's just they're just moving homes, but to a bigger home. So that's pretty much what it is. So hang in there, Cobra Kai, all you fans, because I am a fan myself. I love this show, dude. I think it's a great follow-up to the 80s movies, the classic 3. And I think they have acknowledged the 4th movie too, which a lot of people don't.
I didn't even know there was a 4th one.
Yeah.
Which 4th one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one with Will Smith's son, like the reboot, or is there an actual
There was another one.
Oh wow!
It was with the God, I forget her name. It's a female actress though. It was the lead role, and I believe that was like her Daniel's niece or something, or Daniel's like relative. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it's just it wasn't what people wanted.
I can see that too.
You're trying to take it to a different route.
Sure.
But yeah, speaking of another female role, Warner Bros. Has reportedly begun early discussion about a new film featuring Margot Robbie's Harley
Quinn.
Okay. Your face.
To be honest,
for some reason, anytime we bring up Harley Quinn, it's just like it leads into like a sigh, like.
Because all right, I'll be very honest. I absolutely adore the character. I think she's actually a wonderfully crafted character, in the sense that she is an incredibly smart person who is seduced or tricked or ultimately kind of bamboozled into falling in love with Joker and getting caught up in that whole hype, only to realize that love actually isn't a love, it's a manipulation, and she goes her own route and becomes a strong character of her own. I think that's brilliant. My issue is when it's just more of the same constantly, and it's a little too much on. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit excessive in my opinion, of just a constant barrage of a character. Like, it was the same issue I had with, let's say, Deadpool 2, right? I didn't like Deadpool 2 and nearly as much as the first Deadpool because I thought that in Deadpool 2 they were trying a little too hard, whether it's the normal cut or like the super deluxe, ultra vulgar cut, of trying too hard to be clever and funny in a Deadpool way rather than just let the character go. It was weird. It just felt off to me. It's the same way I feel about Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn as of late. They're prioritizing the whole idea of a kooky female Joker character rather than what the character can become. And it's just kind of like, not my thing, but we'll see. I'm gonna always give him the benefit of the doubt to prove me wrong.
I'm gonna wait to give my final judgment on whether if I like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn or not, because I'm very confused because I'm like filled with. I hate her movies, but I like her character and I like the way she plays this sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there's certain scenes where I think she's fucking great. Like even in the new Harley Quinn movie.
Sure.
I liked her in the sequence where she walks in to the police station and she has that little dialogue with the cop, and she's like dressed. She has like that reminded me of Harley Quinn. I was like, dude, that's great.
There's
like,
glimpses throughout of just great.
It's just like, wow, she has her moments, dude. I just think that she needs to be directed better for some of these scenes, and that's it. So I think my final judgment will be this new Suicide Squad movie because she is in there, and she's being directed by James Gunn, and I think
he's a good director.
And I think he's gonna nail it, dude. I think he knows what the fans want. I'm pretty sure. I've seen like little leaked photos of her dress and stuff. The way she's dressed is completely different compared to what she was dressed in Harley Quinn. Cool. It's not so much punk, it just looks a little different to me. So I'm excited. Nonetheless, as far as this new movie, most people are speculating that it's going to be Gotham City Sirens, which is
bringing that back. That was rumored forever ago.
So I think that's what most people are thinking it's going to be. Which would mean is this going to tie in with the universe of the new Batman film with Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman or not? I hope so. If that's the case, please don't confuse me anymore and add a different Catwoman. Don't do it, please. If you are going to do Gotham City Sirens movie, make sure Zoe Kravitz is in it as the Catwoman, and whoever you're going to add in as Poison Ivy, because she hasn't been casted since since the role, the old one.
Dude, that either way they go with it, it's gonna kind of mind bust me, because if they have like another Catwoman, that's gonna be a little like, okay, I'm keeping track of how many different versions of different characters, but also at the same time, like her being in this other universe that's supposed to be different than the one that is, I guess, the Suicide Squad standalone universe, and different from the DC extended universe. But she's also, I guess, in that, if the Suicide Squad from James Gunn is canon with that, but if is that a sequel to Harley Quinn and the Emancipate or whatever that one was? Like,
well, I'm assuming this is all tied in.
My head hurts.
The Suicide Squad is supposed to be like pretty much just like almost like a soft reboot, like but they're bringing back a lot of the old characters from the first Suicide Squad movie, so they're not completely ignoring it. From what I'm seeing so far, they brought back the original Captain Boomerang guy, and they brought back Harley Quinn, and I think at one point they wanted to bring back Will Smith, but I'm not sure what's going on with that or what happened.
I don't know either.
No cameo or something, because there's a lot of secrets we don't know about. So we'll just have to wait and see in terms of that. So I still think that it's still taking place in that universe regardless, because Harley Quinn's in it. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. So now it was just like I said, it'll just be very confusing if they decide to go with the Gotham City Sirens movie and it ends up being like two different other actresses playing Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Just make sure that they're all in the same universe, or else you're going to confuse people and it irritates people, because then they just don't want to watch it if it has nothing to do with like the main
Yeah.
You know,
It feels a little bit too much like busy work for the audience to keep up with. If it's too convoluted.
And that's
So
what it was with the whole Marvel TV shows on Netflix. You
Agent of
know, a lot
Shield.
of people just didn't feel like watching it if it just wasn't canon. Because they want
Right.
things to be canon, so they're like, oh, that's cool, that's a nice little reference. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily all have to tie in together, but just make it to where it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. Like I said, this isn't going to be something like anytime soon, but they are talking about it. So hopefully, like I said, I'll hold my judgment once the Suicide Squad movie comes out. Hopefully next year, I believe. Once that is out, then I'll see if I really want this. If I'm okay with like Harley Quinn getting another movie on her own, because this will be technically her second movie on her own. Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, let's move on over to some Universal news.
Okay.
Because you know I love me some horror.
Oh yeah. I mean, if anyone's been listening to the podcast doesn't know that, they haven't been listening.
Right. I love me some classic horror too, man. But it has been reported that Ryan Gosling, you know Ryan Gosling?
No, not at all.
No,
I have no clue who that guy is.
Good looking man, all right?
Yeah, he's handsome.
I'm definitely yes, very handsome.
I know he won't eat his cereal either.
Yeah. He is set to star in Universal's Wolfman film.
Ooh. Okay. All right. When does it say anything like a debut date?
No, as far as so it's just pretty much that he's in a star in the film with Lauren Schuckerblum and Rebecca Angelo set to write the screenplay. And that is pretty much it for now, as far as we know. But we are getting a Wolfman film. And I am very excited about this because that is definitely one of my favorite Universal monsters, besides Dracula. Dracula is number one. Hopefully, if and when they decide to do something like that, they fuck it up. So, man, is a good start, man. And Ryan Gosling, I'm assuming, is going to play the lead role to this, because why wouldn't you, right? Like, this should be pretty cool, dude. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to look at Ryan Gosling as the guy from The Notebook, which I think is kind of an injustice. He's shown himself as capable. For example, like the latest Blade Runner movie, he was good in that. I enjoyed him in Drive. Although the movie Drive was kind of meh, I think he was a strong actor in that. This will be a very different role to something I've seen him in, which is exciting to me because I like to see actors stretch, especially muscles they don't know how to really flex, because it kind of shows how good of an actor they are. So this will be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed what they did with the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
So
by chance, did you ever watch the remake of the Wolfman 2010 with Benicio del Toro?
Did that have Anthony Hopkins in it? Or was that a different one?
No, I think that's a different movie.
Then I don't think I did.
Oh yeah, no, I did. Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that one?
I remember liking it at the time.
Yeah. I thought the visuals and everything looked great. I loved it too. But that one kind of had like an old approach to the film, meaning like it took place in a different time period, like a older piece time period, like Old English. They tried to pretty much replicate what they did with the old film and try to just modernize it, but may still make it look old. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the Ryan Gosling one is apparently, it looks like, though it is believed to be that is set in present time.
Cool.
So this is like they're going. I like I'm saying. I think they're going to eventually tie in the Invisible Man thing, and then the Wolfman thing.
Yeah.
And it's all good. I think all these movies are going to take place in present time. I don't think none of them are going to go that old route. Maybe Dracula, they could probably do like an origin story with him, and then eventually bring him up to present time or something.
Right.
Yeah. So, because that's just from the looks of it, and that's what the article just literally said right here. It looks like it's believed to set in present time in the vein of Jake Gyllenhaal's thriller Nightcrawler. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Yeah, that was a great film too.
This is with an obvious supernatural twist.
Did they say an unobvious?
No, with an obvious one.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
the twist is that he turns into Wolfman.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Okay, yeah. Then, yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm looking forward to this. The more more the merrier. Give me more monster movies, especially classic ones like Wolfman.
The Universal monsters, I think they're doing a great job with the Invisible Man. That was such an entertaining movie, dude. I want to watch it again. I need to rewatch it. Hopefully HBO gets it or something, but I need to rewatch it. So yeah, dude, great news. Wolfman. Hopefully they could do Frankenstein, and then they could do Dracula last if they want to. But it's just like I have so much like nostalgia in like I guess nostalgia is just the perfect word, but because I love these characters so much, man. I know a lot of these movies are made way before my time, obviously,
right?
The original ones. But I have so much fond memories of them because I used to like just watch reruns of it late at night on television. They would always play those, and I would record them on my VHS, my little VHS TV combination thing, and I would always rewatch them. Like they were old as hell, but they were so good. They were just so great, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much. They just have like a certain charm to it. So hopefully they can capture that same, vibe to it because they did great with the Invisible Man. I like the approach that they went with it, the modern take to it. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with Wolfman now, dude. And Ryan Gosling lead role, I think is great.
Yeah,
I'm happy with it.
Same.
So let's go ahead and move on to some other light-hearted news here, not so much on the horror side.
Okay.
Do you ever remember a movie called Don't Tell the Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Not at all. That doesn't sound familiar at all to me.
No?
Yeah.
Dude, it was an 80s, classic 80s film. If anybody remembers it. It was pretty much the premise. That's pretty much what it was, like the title of the film.
So the babysitter actually was dead in the movie?
Yeah, the babysitter comes and she ends up like, I believe if I remember correctly, they wake up one day and she ends up just dead on the couch. Like she had a heart attack or something. So she went to sleep, she didn't wake up. So these teenagers, family, they pretty much send her off to the morgue. They drop her off at the morgue and they just kind of live their summer vacation with just themselves, and they try to figure things out because the mom is out on a business trip for like a month or something like that. So now they're pretty much stuck trying to like survive at home, which it becomes like a giant mess because like the oldest sister ends up getting a job, but she's underage still. I believe she's like 17, I think, only. Okay. And so she ends up portraying to be, she's using her mom's name and her mom's ID, and it's just like, it gets crazy, man. Right, yeah. But it is such a classic 80s film, and it is so good, dude. I 1000% recommend watching the original. Okay. So now that you guys know, or some of you might remember this film, they are doing a remake, and it's in development from Treehouse Pictures, which caught me the hell off guard, dude.
Yeah, that's like out of nowhere.
I was scrolling through different news articles to try to find the ones that are obscure enough too many people are reporting on, and this one caught my eye because I'm just like, whoa, what? Like really?
That's really out of left field.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitters Dead is an iconic cult classic. Treehouse President Nappy said in a statement, "We look forward to bringing audiences a new interpretation that is funny and outrageous as the original, but also smart and connected to the world today." I think that premise of the film could work, especially with like a modernized version of it with the internet and cell phone. Like it could be funny too, man.
Oh yeah. Because if that came out in the 80s, it's a whole different world now, for sure. I mean, the differences can be quite stark as far as like capability for the kids. The movie
was filmed in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
was it set like beforehand?
No, but I think the initial release date was 91. So it came out in the 90s, like early 90s. But I keep thinking it's an 80s film because, dude, like if you watch it, it has that 80s vibe to it, man.
Yeah.
And it's like even like till this day, you can just I mistaken that. But yeah, apparently it's 91 when it originally came out. but I'm sure it was filmed 89, and then once it goes through the whole editing process and all that stuff.
Right.
So 91 was the initial release date of the film. But yeah, classic film. This
That'd be cool.
is interesting. I'm happy. If you guys haven't had a chance, check it out. Watch the original. You will not be disappointed. I know it's kind of an older film, but it is a ride, man, and it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, so you check it out when you get a chance to.
I will. I wrote it down in my notebook to check out.
So I have some comic book related news here. Do you remember the actor Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies?
I'll be honest with you. And I don't say this often about the X-Men franchise. I often reminisce about the first time I saw that scene, and you know what scene I'm talking about from, I think it was X-Men Days of Future Past, I think is what it was.
Okay.
Where he is introduced. Yeah. And he like, if I could put Time in a Bottle, I think is the song that plays. And he's like, running around, extremely slow motion. That blew my mind the first time I saw that. So I think, yeah, absolutely, I know who he is. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think he's a great actor, dude. And he plays that role so great.
Yeah.
So great. And that was literally my favorite character from those, the
soft reboot.
Like the reboot of the X-Men. So that's great, right? Well, he has joined the cast of Wanda Vision, apparently. As a serious role. So nobody knows what role he's in. So this is really cool because one, he doesn't necessarily have to play Quicksilver again, obviously, because they already had a different Quicksilver in the Marvel universe.
Right.
So, but this is cool that he's back in with another Marvel film, but that is Disney owned, because before it was Fox owned,
right?
With the X-Men movies. So this is really cool. He has his foot in the door. He's now a part of the Marvel universe. We just don't know what character he's going to be playing. He can be a villain. He can be a good guy. I don't know. Let's wait and see.
I'm finger crossing real hard because you know me. I like to dream big. When it comes to comic movies, I really, really like to dream big. And I have to say, man, it would be really badass if he came into the show as Quicksilver from maybe even the X-Men franchise. I think it'd be really cool because it would literally be this huge moment of like a multiverse thing. Plus, it would be cool because Scarlet Witch lost her brother Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. She gets a different Quicksilver that isn't necessarily her brother, but she kind of feels that connection. It'd be really fascinating. I don't know. It'd be really cool.
That would be crazy. I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
Dude, he just fucking blew my mind away.
I'm like, this is cool. I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, like, they put it out there, and I'm like, I can't help but go.
Wanda Vision's brother was Quicksilver. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together that way. You're right. Yeah. That'd be interesting, man. Let's see what they do with that.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. But nonetheless, Evan Peters coming back is amazing. And the fact
he's talented.
He's such a talented actor, man. And I didn't get to see him in American Horror Story. I heard he was great in that too. But I loved him in the movie Kick-Ass. If you remember?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he was great in that one too. He's also in the movie called Never Back Down, which he was a lot chubbier then, I think, in that.
Okay.
But he's been around for a while, man, and this is great. And now that you just blew my mind with that, that'd be pretty crazy to do. But nonetheless, if they don't go with that concept,
right?
And you want to go with something with like a brand new character, but just have him in, it's still gonna be kind of distracting now, because I'm just gonna be thinking like, oh, that's technically her brother.
Yeah, it's gonna be like really kind of interesting for sure.
But that's it for news, guys. Not a whole lot today, but we got some, at least we got some pretty interesting ones. A lot, some curveballs with the whole Babysitter's Dead, the Cobra Kai one. I wasn't expecting those at all.
No.
This week that was good, but now I would really like to deep dive into the streaming service of HBO Max.
Yes.
I just want to go ahead and say that I had HBO Now.
Okay.
And I had HBO Go in the past. So I had HBO at one point, and then I canceled it and stuff, and then I got HBO Now before HBO Max was released, like maybe a week before or so. Because once you signed up for HBO Max ahead of time, you had access to HBO Now, and then eventually that app would update to Max.
Right.
So like you just had instant access to that. And I just want to say that HBO Now service fucking sucked. Like, dude, their catalog, not just their catalog of movies, but their UI, like just their interface was like set up was just trash, dude. It was so hard to find movies that I wanted to watch. It was just, it wasn't very helpful at all to like have like, I don't know, man. The movies that I recommended, I just didn't give a shit about.
Right.
And then I had to actively actually search for them. It wasn't like, you know, top 10 movies of today, or you know, pretty much how Netflix has theirs. Even Disney has a good one now. I think in the beginning Disney was a little but now it's a lot better. And it was just very frustrating because I was just thinking to myself, like I said, I had it a week before, so I was watching a little bit here and there, a couple things, but I was just thinking, man, HBO Max better have a better one, because if it's like this is gonna be a fucking tragedy. Luckily, now HBO Max released of Wednesday last week. It wasn't available on the App Store right away. I don't know if you tried getting on there as soon as possible, or if you just waited till the morning. Well, what was that like for you?
Well, for me, I got it like the day after, I think, to try and get it on my TV, and it was still the HBO Now app. But the day after that, it had updated to be HBO Max. But online, it was available like immediately and everything. But yeah, for sure, as far as like app stores go, I know that it's been a bit of a kind of like a haphazard trip into to normalcy for HBO Max.
So I was live streaming on Twitch, and then I ended my cast. I usually end roughly around 1 a.m. or something. And as soon as I ended, I got a snack and stuff, because I was like, all right, HBO Max is out. I'm going to download this and get it set up and start some stuff, or just browse through the whole catalog all night and just make my own list or whatever. It wasn't available right away. I was very frustrated because the app wasn't available on the phone yet. It took like a minute, and people on Twitter were blowing up like, how did you get the app? How'd you get the app? People were freaking out. Apparently it was only available on fucking Xbox for like the first, as soon as midnight hit, it was only available on Xbox for some odd reason. I'm like, wait, weird. What? And then finally the desktop version, I think, was fine. So it was only Xbox and desktop version they were able to watch it on. And then I tried, you know, updating my Fire Stick, because I have a Fire Stick, and it just it wasn't there. It was still HBO Now. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, dude? And I see people complaining about, you know, that it's not on their Fire Stick, and sure enough, lo and behold, like a few hours later, they released a statement saying that they haven't reached an agreement with Amazon yet. And it's just it's the only way to watch it was through like their Apple TV or smart TV, some smart TVs. I have a smart TV, but I have like such an older model of the smart TVs that it doesn't have like the newer super new apps. The only apps that I have is like the basic ones, like Netflix and like HBO Go. It doesn't even have Now. It has HBO Go.
Oh wow.
It has and Amazon, and that's it. Those are the only 3 apps that it has. Like, it's like an older model TV or whatever. So that's why I bought the Fire Stick, but the Fire Stick doesn't work. The app doesn't work.
Rip.
So just like, well, I'm asked out. I wanted to watch it on my TV, so now I got to sit here on my computer and watch it this way, which was, you know, wasn't like a huge issue, but it was just kind of
inconvenience. I mean, you want to watch a movie, you're going to want to watch it on your nice screen.
And I wasn't thinking just for myself, but I was thinking, usually when situations like that happen, I'm thinking for other people as well. Just like, oh, people are not gonna like this. That's just my thought process, because you know, I run a podcast. But so that was the issue. And then luckily 2 days later, my brother found a workaround.
Nice.
basically you had to download an app. I had to download 2 different apps, right?
Oh Lord.
To download the HBO Max app to get it to all work on my Fire Stick. It was just like a weird workaround, right?
Right.
And it was legit, but it was just weird that I had to do that. So I had to go through an app, and then once you get that app, you go into that app, you search another app in that app, and then you download that application, and then from that application you search up HBO Max. Right? No, it wasn't just that simple though. I had to uninstall HBO Now and then install HBO Max through that app. Hopefully you guys are keeping up with me here, right? And then once that was done, I go back to my menu on the Fire Stick, and the app itself still says HBO Now. But once you click on it, then it takes you to an HBO Max. It still says HBO Now as the application, but if you click on it, it'll go to HBO Max.
Interesting.
But that's the only way to get it to work at the moment.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't have that much.
Perfectly fine on my television now, but dude, I was just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
I just want to watch HBO Max.
I feel so bad for you, man, because I did not have that issue. Like I said, the way I have with my smart TV, it's a Samsung, and it updated pretty quickly, and then I just been able to go through that. But I knew that Amazon Fire Sticks and Roku's as well, if you have one of those, it's going to be a bit of a headache if you can even get it, just because they're currently in disputes and all that malarkey.
I've heard of people trying to screen share, and they won't let you screen share it through like their phones or like Chromecast, apparently. Because my brother has like Chromecast, and he tried to screen share it, and I tried to screen share for my phone to get it to play on TV. It wouldn't do it. It wouldn't screen share. Just like, what the fuck, man? Because apparently a lot of those apps don't like it. I guess they like block it to where the point where they don't want you to screen share it. They want you to download their application.
Yeah, I think it might be just because they want to buff their numbers or also like avoid piracy, but it seems like more of a headache than what it's worth for most people.
Exactly. So it's just like, oh my God, man. So it was a huge fucking mess. The release of it first few days, and then after that, once I actually started to actually sit down, relax, and start watching and making my list of films that I wanted to watch, I was a lot better. I was a lot happier for that. So it was a headache. I don't know if you guys experienced the same thing. You guys can let me down in the comments below or tweet at us that, yes, HBO Max was a shit release, but everything seems to be running okay. Right. Now I want to talk about some of the stuff that is on here, and then also get into the stuff that we've been watching.
Okay.
What were you happy to see like on the service? Like, what is one of the first 2 or 3 things that caught your eye that you're like, oh my God, they have this?
First thing immediately that caught my eye that blew my mind was Studio Ghibli, because for some reason my mind forgot that was going to be there, or I never heard.
I forgot about that too. Yeah, and we talked about it here on the cast too.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
So what I saw was like, they have Totoro. I'm like, oh my God, they have all of them.
Yep, exactly. I was like, oh my God, yes, this is awesome. Because I remember back when we heard the news, I was really bummed because it seemed so far away from getting HBO Max that we wouldn't get to stream it and stuff. But now that it's here, I'm like, thank you. This is something that really makes me happy. The other thing immediately was Teen Titans. I don't know if you're too familiar with the shows on, I think,
of course,
Cartoon Network, dude. That show,
I never got around to actually. I was never like a huge fan of it because I think during that time when it was out, I didn't really watch cartoons too much at that time period. I don't know. I guess I was probably just out more or whatever, right? I just wasn't watching it. But I know a lot of people in my school were like hyping it up during the time where they were like, dude, Teen Titans is a shit, and it was good to watch it. Yeah, and even till this day, people will still talk about how good Teen Titans is. So,
and that theme song too, Teen Titans Go. It's just so interesting. And I'm not talking about Teen Titans Go, the new show version. No. The classic one, the one that inspired everything and is awesome. Yeah, that one really blew my mind. And then the other thing that I immediately watched was a Robin Williams documentary, which I clicked on because I love Robin Williams. I did not really think about it before. I was already way too into it to not continue watching, that it was going to wreck me, because Robin Williams is one of the celebrity deaths that rock me to my core, because I thought he was a phenomenal entertainer. So that's on there as well. But there's a ton of stuff. I don't know what caught your eye.
First thing that caught my eye was the Harry Potters. They have all 1 through 8. I was like, yes. So I immediately added those to my list.
There you go.
Another thing was they had the Ninja Turtles. I don't think a lot of people know that. They have them on there. They have all classic Ninja Turtle movies, the live action ones.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they have the 3. Game of Thrones. I'm just kidding. I already knew that was gonna be on there. I was gonna watch maybe the first 4 seasons, just kind of reminisce of when the show was great.
Hey, the show is a fun ride. If you enjoy the journey rather than the destination, by all means, go.
And Lord of the Rings, they had all of them.
That's on there. Yeah.
But let me go ahead and correct this. The Hobbit ones, which I'm not sure you're not too big of a fan of, right?
I like them. Whatever. I like them for bits and pieces. I think that the Hobbit story's in there, but I think there was way too much studio meddling and unfortunate timing of having a director not really have a lot of prep time and then pressure and all that. But yeah.
Okay, so they have the Hobbit movies in there too, right? But they only had the first and the third one. The second one wasn't there, which I was very confused about. Like, why the fuck is the second one not here? Which is Desolation of Smaug, I believe that's what it was called.
Yep.
And then lo and behold, literally last night, they tweeted out saying that they added the second one finally. I'm like, why wasn't this on there?
Exactly.
That's so weird. But now we have all pretty much all Lord of the Rings films, including the Hobbit ones, and even the classic Hobbit movie. I don't know if you remember the cartoon.
The animation one is awesome.
It's on here too. Obviously Studio Ghibli. That thing, I was like, whoa! They even have a whole little like tab, for you to just browse through all the Studio Ghibli stuff.
Yeah.
But the first thing that I actually watched, believe it or not, and you're not gonna be surprised, and a lot of people are not gonna be surprised, was that they had a good catalog of Batman films, including the older ones. So the first one I saw was 1989.
Yeah, I was going to say. There you go.
That's the first thing I watched on HBO Max, man. But yeah, I was looking through the catalog of DC stuff, man, and they have a lot of great stuff, dude. They even have Steel. Remember Steel with Shaq?
I haven't seen that. I don't think ever.
That movie once, man. It was something else. But yeah, I was looking to see what kind of animated stuff that they had it, and I was kind of disappointed to not see Sub-Zero on there. I was disappointed not to see the Batman animated series,
Mask of the Phantasm, all those
Phantasm stuff, which I think at some point we are gonna get them on here, since apparently like the DC Universe app is going to merge with HBO Max.
That's what I thought too, because I originally believed that all of the DC content would get over there, but it looks like they're going to be doing it kind of like how Disney Plus has weekly updates. They're going to leak it slowly onto there to probably try and extend the time between new content coming out. People being like, well, I'll stay until that gets there. Oh, I'll stay until that gets there. That's my guess.
Right.
But that's not to say that their selection right now isn't impressive, because I left off a few other things too, like The Sopranos and Chernobyl. Those are 2 series that I have always wanted to see, have not seen because I didn't have the time or a means to watch it after it got taken away. Now I do, and I'm going to be checking that out, as well as like Breaking Bad. So it's like, which I should say also Breaking Bad's on Netflix, but still, like there's a ton of content out now that I'm like, yes, I get to do it.
And you know what? Some stuff that caught me off guard too. They have some Turner Classic movies on there, which I was very happy to see.
Right.
So, like, if you guys are unfamiliar with Turner Classic movies, they're like some of the really older stuff. Like, they even have Little Shop of Horrors, which we are getting a remake of that. So you guys should definitely go check that out now that it's on HBO Max. But like, they have a few older ones like Night of the Living Dead, The Blob. They have Eraserhead. They have some Charlie Chaplin films. They even have some old Western films like John Wayne. They have How the West Was Won, Once Upon a Time in the West, just like a whole bunch of like cowboy movies, like old school Turner Classic movies, like, just It's just this is the plethora of different classic films, dude. I'm so happy to see that they added this, because this is one of them that actually caught me off guard, dude, because I wasn't expecting that to see some of these older films. Because I do remember watching some Charlie Chaplin stuff with my grandpa once upon a time ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is pretty cool that, you know, they have some of these older Western films too that I grew up watching as a kid. So this is great. Like that's probably one of the ones that caught me off guard. And not only that, the Wizard of Oz. They have the classic Wizard of Oz, which I'm such a huge fan of, dude. And that's probably one of those classic films that I believe that should remain untouched, you know, personally.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I remember that when that movie came out, I don't remember this like I was there, but I remember actually reading this somewhere, that when that movie came out, when it transitions from black to white to color, it actually drew gasps from the crowd. Which now is such a trivial concept of color and black and white and all this other stuff, but that just goes to show how much of an impact that movie kind of was.
Yes.
But I want to say this about HBO Max. The user interface is phenomenal. I think it's selections of what it can suggest, the ease at which you can add things to your list, as well as it's absolutely sprawling selection of not even just like numbers, but also like genre, tone.
Yes, they have a variety of different films,
era,
and TV shows, and documentaries.
Yeah,
it is so good, dude. It is really great. I'm very pleased with it.
Definitely worth $15 a month for me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So which I kind of wanted to lead to that was, is this application worth it off the bat, or is this something you guys should wait for? Me personally, and what Tim just said, I think we both agree that it is worth it, dude.
Yeah.
It is absolutely worth it. I think having this app and Netflix is just,
you're set.
Yes, you are good to go. Obviously Disney Plus is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Just because some people don't even like Disney movies. You know what I mean? Like, you have to somewhat kind of like the animation films, and also like Star Wars and all that stuff. Like, for me, like having Disney Plus, Netflix, and this is just the holy trinity, dude.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's so perfect, dude. It is really good. It's a nice variety of different stuff. And as far as quality goes, like everything seems to be fine. I haven't had an issue with the service at all. Not too many like hiccups with like, you know, things not loading or anything like that. It seems like everything was fine. It was a rocky start, like I said, first 2-3 days of trying to get the application and all that work. So hopefully they can work the kinks out. Hopefully meet an agreement with Amazon and whoever they need to get their app to work on all, you know, streaming devices. That'd be perfect. Other than that, I think you guys should check it out. So yes, worth the $15. So definitely make the investment if you have the extra change to do so. You guys will not be disappointed. The only issue that I have with this, which I kind of want to get into now, some of the flaws is this isn't gonna fall towards everybody's you know, point of view, but from my point of view as a father, there isn't a wide selection of children's stuff on there.
See, I haven't checked that out, so I don't actually know. I'm gonna have to take your word on that.
I'm like exploring everything,
yeah,
and there isn't too much in terms of selection of like cartoon movies and stuff like that are kid friendly, from like the age group of like 1 through 5. They do have the classic Looney Tunes, which I was surprised to see because I thought they were just going to do the new Looney Tunes that HBO Max did, which I did have a chance to watch, which we'll talk about it right now in a minute.
Yeah.
They also have like Sesame Street, which to my surprise is that they have the classic Sesame Streets all the way up until 2020, which is great, dude. Because some of these episodes I have nostalgia for.
Yeah, you see it and you're like, my God, I'm a kid again.
yeah. And I can't wait to show my son this because he watches, Sesame Street on his phone sometimes, to like, learn his basic ABCs, his colors and all that stuff. But I was kind of disappointed to see that they didn't have too many selections of like movies. Like I kind of expected to see maybe Kung Fu Panda 1 and 3 on there. That's not on there. They just have some like other knockoff cartoon shows that were like weird. some movies that are like, just kind of whatever's to me.
Something's telling me though.
Not so much selection in terms of kids. So this is, I feel like this is more targeted primarily towards young adults obviously, and that's it. Just because some of the cartoons on there, even the Looney Tunes, the new one is not kid friendly, because I was watching it. First episode, I see freaking Daffy Duck call God, what's his name? The pig.
Porky Pig.
Porky Pig. He calls him an idiot. I'm just like, whoa! I had to change it real quick because I was like watching it with my kid. I was like, I wasn't expecting that. You idiot! I'm just like, what? I was like, okay, let's not watch this.
Right. Well, I want to say this. Something tells me that, like with Disney and their whole rolling out content, as what HBO Max seems to be doing too, I feel like when they start hearing people are like, hey, I wish there was more kid content, they're gonna be like, oh, well, we have this whole vault of kid content. Throw it on there.
Which I really hope that some people probably, including like myself, probably spread awareness enough to where they're like, yeah, you know what, we probably should add some more kid-friendly related stuff on there as well, just to have a nice little category. I'm not expecting a huge catalog of stuff, just a couple movies here and there, you know what I mean? Maybe some of the Incredible stuff, or not Incredible stuff, Despicable Me, or just like some DreamWorks movies that
there's a lot in DreamWorks that'd be great.
Yeah, they have a lot of adult related content on there. They have Rick and Morty, they have Robot Chicken.
Yep.
They have Aqua Teen Hunger Force, if you remember that. They have a lot of the Batman animated films, but the DC new ones, so like the Killing Joke, Gotham Knights, Batman vs. Robin.
Yeah, Killing Joke is for sure not for kids.
Yeah, some of these are just more on the adult side, which I'm pleasant to see. They even have, dude, this actually blew my mind. They had Todd McFarlane's Spawn. So if you don't remember, this was like, I believe this was early 90s, man. Anime, and it was dark as hell, dude. I was really happy to see that this is on here, because I totally forgot that I think HBO owned the rights to that. So I was like, what the heck? They have Fullmetal Alchemist, like a few different other animated related stuff. But for me, my only complaint was basically just the launch of it. The app's not working properly, on certain platforms, and also the small selection of kids related movies and shows or whatever. They only had a couple things, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, as far as films go and TV shows, they have a nice variety, dude.
Yeah,
and I am very very happy with that. Did you
I'm
have
looking
any
through
issues?
I have absolutely none, because like you had me looking through it again, and I'm like trying to find something negative. I'm just getting like wowed again, because it's like La La Land's on here. You got freaking like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in its entirety, of Watchmen.
The entire Bel-Air
the Watchmen series that you absolutely adore is on here. They have like the Joker movie. Titanic. I mean, they got pretty much everything you could want, except for like you just said, really, really kid-friendly content. It's
There's
on
barely any content. Yeah, a lot of Adult Swim related stuff. There's some Crunchyroll. Like I said, I mentioned some animes. They already have a small selection of it, which we did report on it earlier, a few episodes back, that they were only going to release a handful of animes first, and then they're going to slowly release more and more since they're partnering up with Crunchyroll. But just the fact that they're giving them or us a selection of animes is pretty cool, so they have some pretty cool ones on here that I definitely will, eventually give it a shot, because I have heard some good things about an anime called Kill la Kill. So I'll probably give that a watch sometime down the road. But yeah, like other than that, like that's my only complaint really with the service. I think I stand strong with the $15. I think it's worth it. It's probably the priciest streaming service, if I'm correct.
I mean, if you have if you have a 2-person account with Netflix, it's about the same, because I pay $15 for Netflix, so I pay $15 for HBO Max, so it kind of rounds out.
You can also make up to 4 or 5 different profiles on the same account, and you can have up to 3 people watching at the same time
That's incredible to me.
on the same which I think is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, any more than that is a little, a little much.
A little too much.
And
Yeah.
I understand that coming from a business standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's great. Guys, $15, give it a watch. I want to talk about some of the stuff that we've been watching that we would probably recommend or not recommend.
Okay.
Because I watched some movies last night, or a particular movie that I just thought was like, what the fuck am I watching? And I watched some old stuff too. But I'm curious to know what have you been watching, man? And what are some stuff that you want to recommend to people to add on their list?
Well, I got 5 things to recommend here. First up is on HBO Max, and that's Blast from the Past. It's got Brendan Fraser and what's his name? Crap. I just blanked on his name. Christopher Walken. And it is a really, really unique, funny, safe for anyone who's a teenager and up, funny movie that actually kind of has a cool lesson to be learned in it, especially in the chaotic times we are in now. It's kind of interesting to see, different perspectives through life and just kind of different eras. And it's a very unique story. Not to spoil anything, a basic premise would be that Christopher Walken's character, it's a dad in I think it's like the 50s. Or maybe I think it's in the 50s. And he, unbeknownst to everyone else in the neighborhood except for his wife, he essentially has built an underground bomb shelter in his yard that's like fully decked out to last like 30 years of self-sustaining everything, right? And something happens to where they end up down there and it locks, and there's no way for them to get out until 30 years pass. And then when they reemerge, it's a completely different world now. And it's a really funny movie. It's really cool.
What was the film called again?
Blast from the Past. It's
Blast from the Past. All right. I didn't even know about this film, and I'm about to write it out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I would recommend it if you guys haven't heard or seen that. I think that's interesting. Another one that I think is a really, really underrated, fantastic movie. I mean, I almost want to give it a golden. I love this movie so much. It's What Lies Beneath. It's a thrilling movie with some horror elements. It's a bit of a mystery. The way the music and the shots are done, the tension in this movie can be extreme. My wife almost couldn't make it through it. I had to mute it at points and narrate what was happening on the screen to her because she couldn't take it. It was really fun.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know if you're going to be the same way because it didn't affect me like that. But if you aren't into horror, this may not be for you. But it's
all me, baby.
So I recommend that one. Then I have another one. It's The Judge. It's got I can't remember his name. I think it's Robert Duvall and Robert Downey Jr. It's a really, really kind of hard-hitting movie about a dynamic between a father and son, where that bond between them is very much in a very fragile, shattered state. And it's a movie that's hard to see sometimes, but it's, I think, a very, very heartwarming, and it made me cry in the end. So it's kind of touching to me. So I would recommend that. You could find that. I think it's on Netflix. I believe. I think that's where I watched it.
Okay.
Then I got 2 more because I know I'm trying not to take too much time of your guys' time here. Kiss the Girls is a movie that has Morgan Freeman as an officer of the law. He's like a detective, and without spoiling much, because this happens like right away in the beginning of the movie, his niece is kidnapped by a guy who collects women and keeps them in a dungeon. And it's his job to narrow down amongst a large pool of suspects and finding these girls and getting them out alive. Really cool movie. It's got stuff in it that you're like gonna roll your eyes about because it's an older movie, but I think it's cool because who doesn't like Morgan Freeman? I mean, goodness gracious. Right. And then the last thing I want to recommend is that if you guys haven't heard yet, you probably have. If you have Netflix, Avatar: The Last Airbender is on Netflix. I recently gave some episodes that I love rewatch of that show, and it is still by far one of my top tier. You know, any media I've ever consumed is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was a series that came out for kids on Netflix, and it's phenomenal. So I would recommend that as well. What about you?
Nice. So, all the stuff that pretty much that I'm gonna name, it's all available on HBO Max, and you guys can watch right now. At just a click of a button.
Cool.
So I've been watching a variety of different stuff, and also I wanted to acknowledge the fact that HBO Max does have a great selection of horror related films.
Yeah,
like a lot. They even have all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So if you guys are ever in the mood to binge watch some Freddy Krueger stuff, watch it on there. It's all on there. But I recently started just watching a whole bunch of random movies on here. I am gonna go down the list of some of the stuff that I personally liked. One is The Wizard on HBO, which I think you guys should check out.
Okay.
It's a classic film, 1989. It's about a boy named Jimmy Woods and his brother. They go to a video game competition in Hollywood. So they hit the road, and as they're hitting the road, they encounter different folks. And this kid, Jimmy, is pretty much the wizard of video games. And it is probably the first Nintendo movie, because it is Nintendo's all over this film. And it's probably the only times that I remember like seeing like a whole bunch of Nintendo games like on TV like that, because Nintendo's very like,
they're touchy.
Yeah, they're touchy about their games and stuff being portrayed. And so this movie is a classic. It even has Fred Savage from the Wonder Years. So give it a watch. I 1000% recommend it. It's roughly an hour and 40 minutes long, but it is on HBO Max, and it is a PG movie.
Cool.
But it's 1989 PG, so that means it's PG-13.
Yeah, no,
because PG completely different. But yeah, that's definitely one of the ones I've been watching. I watched War of the Worlds again, not the classic one. I watched the one with Tom Cruise. Yeah. I rewatched it. Didn't hold up as very well to me as it did back then when it first originally came out, which was back in 2005. I like the first half of the film did great, and then afterwards it gets really boring. It just gets really boring, and not only that, I was starting to get really annoyed with the kid actors in the movie.
Specifically for me, it's the son
and Dakota Fanning. She just has some weird moments in there, and I'm just like, what the hell? These kids are bratty as fuck, dude. I'm just like getting annoyed by them. But back then, for some reason, when I first watched this, I just thought it was like whatever, right? But like now, as I watch it as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, these kids are bad. Like it just it was very annoying. First half of the movie still great, still holds up for me. But after that, it kind of falls short for me. So this is one of those movies that I, going back to, I didn't like so much as an adult. But it is on here just in case if you guys are still fans of it. I've also been watching this movie called The Skulls. I don't know if you remember this film.
I haven't heard of that.
It was with Paul Walker. And God, I forget his name. I think his name is Luke McNamara, I believe his name is. He starred in that show Dawson's Creek. He was one of the actors on there. But anyways, it's about a secret organization, like a society, like a bunch of college kids, and they pretty much like help them get through life a lot easier by joining like the society. Is kind of like a sorority, but underground. Like, yeah, you should give it a watch. I think you guys would really enjoy it. It's 2000. The year was 2000 when it originally released.
Wow. Okay.
It's great. It still holds up. In my opinion, I think this movie still holds up.
And it was called what? What was it called again?
The Skulls.
The Skulls. All right.
Yes. I just don't want to give too much away. I can literally break this movie down into pieces, but I really would like for you. I just want to recommend it.
Yeah, I'm going to check that one out.
And it has classic Paul Walker, like young Paul Walker in this one. And rest in peace to him because he was great. So that's definitely one of them. I got two more that I would definitely recommend that it is on HBO. Like I said, I watched The Goonies. Remember The Goonies?
Of course.
I rewatched that. Great stuff. Who doesn't? I don't really have to say anything else so far.
I need to rewatch The Goonies, to be honest. I think it's been like almost 7 years or so since I've seen it, so I definitely need to give that a rewatch.
Yeah, and I watched two other films. I'll give you guys two more because these are two modern movies that I've never watched before that I just barely watched the first time. First one is a movie called Ready or Not that just released, I believe, last year.
Okay.
And it's about this girl that marries into a family. Well, it's she's about to get married. It's a wedding day, and they're gonna get married at the husband's house. Or his family's house, in-laws.
Right.
And anytime one of the family members gets married, either the husband or the wife that is not a part of the family that joins in has to play a game. And depending on the game that they draw, then that's the game that they have to play, right? I remember hearing
about this movie coming to theaters.
And so the game that they end up playing is Ready or Not, which is or hide and seek. That's what it's called. The movie's called Ready or Not because pretty much like hide and seek. Here I come or whatever. But they have to play hide and seek. But there's a twist. They have to go kill her while she goes hiding. And the thing is that apparently it's rare for them to ever pull that card from this box, which I don't want to get too much away.
Okay.
Because I do recommend this film. It's a bit of a ride.
Okay.
And it's a little weird.
Okay.
And it's gruesome. Just FYI, it is gruesome. So if you guys are not into that, you don't have to watch it, but it is gruesome.
Okay.
And it's not a horror movie, by all means, but it is.
It's like a dark comedy.
It's dark comedy, and it's on a supernatural side of stuff because this box is that was given to them that has a long history of apparently is the reason why they have their wealth. So I'll leave it at that. It has to do with supernatural stuff. And anyways, they had to play this game of hide and seek, and they had to find her and kill her. But she doesn't understand why. And as the story goes on, you understand a little bit more. But that's about it. I'll leave it at that. You give it a watch. HBO MAX, go give it a watch. I also watched one more movie that is technically a slasher film, aka horror / thriller, is a movie called Ma. And I just have to say, this movie's really bad. It is really bad. So you guys don't have to watch this movie, but just in case if you're very curious to know, because it was kind of advertised everywhere on television. On
I saw the trailer for that for months.
Yeah, it got some pretty good advertisement, man. The only good things I do have to say about this film is that the actress that plays Ma in the film, and she's all over the billboards and posters, Octavia Spencer, she's such a great actress, dude. And she played the role of this character perfectly, which is just straight fucking creepy, man. And I'll give you guys the overall just basic premise of the film. It's about this lady. Her name is Luann, aka Ma. She meets a group of kids, right, that ask her, hey, can you buy us some alcohol? And she decides to befriend them. And she's like, hey kids, why don't you come party at my place?
She's being the way too cool adult.
Way too cool, way too uncomfortable adult, because she's obviously in her late 40s.
It's like red flags. Yeah. Hello.
And these kids are like sophomores or juniors in high school, and she's buying them alcohol, giving them drugs to and all
That's
this.
Sus.
And she's friending them to be friends with her, and it gets very possessive real quick.
Right.
For wrong reasons, and I'll leave it at that. If you want to give it a watch, go for it. I personally didn't enjoy it, not because of those reasons, but just because a lot of the shit in there just doesn't make any sense. So if you go in watching this movie, make sure you throw logic all out the window, man, because it just, in a lot of it just is, it's not gonna make any sense to you.
Right.
So why would they do? Why the hell are they going to this lady's house? She's like 50 years old. Like, just throw logic out the window because it doesn't exist in this film at all.
Right.
It is technically a slasher film because she ends up going crazy and she ends up starting to kill people. And
she's slashing.
Yeah, it gets a little wild, man. So if you want to, I will say that the movie wasn't boring. I'll give it that.
Okay.
It was still entertaining. Yeah, but I was only watching for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what kind of other shit are they gonna like just add in here at this point? But yeah, if you'd like to check out Ma, and that's pretty much it, guys. There's a long list of other titles on HBO Max that you guys should definitely give a watch to as well. That I could just go on, just keep recommending and stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys definitely go on there, go under the movie section or the series section, go down from A through Z, and just go down the list and just start making your list, guys.
I think it is also cool to see and say there's a week trial that you get, and you can opt out very, very quickly from this. Do the week trial just to see if you like it, because that's kind of what I was going to do for this initial bit. I fell in love with the service, and I'm going to keep it. You guys be your own judge with that, but definitely give it a try. It's a free trial. You got nothing to lose. Check it out.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. As far as news goes, as far as HBO Max, 1000% recommend it. Go give it a if you'd like to try it out, just like Tim said, for 7 days. And if you feel like there's more than enough content for you to continue watching, then subscribe. I'm already subscribed. I'm going to stay subscribed. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's episode. I just want to give a huge thanks to everybody that's still listening, watching. We do plan on hopefully coming out with another episode next week. We didn't film one last week because there was no news to cover.
Dead quiet.
Yeah. I mean, yes, HBO Max was going to come out, but we just decided to wait on it so that way we can kind of give a review of it a little bit, which kind of technically did here, and let you guys know whether if it was worth it or not. So hopefully next week we should be a better episode as well, in terms of more news, and hopefully if we find something new to watch on HBO Max, then we'll probably end up reviewing that. We will keep everyone posted and updated on Twitter as well. But if you guys like to, or if you can, hit a like on the video, and also please share it on all social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and anything else. Let your moms, your aunts, your cousins, and your buddies know that, hey, what's poppin' is what's poppin', right?
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate it.
Thank you for those of you that are listening over on Spotify. And this is your first time listening. Welcome, guys, and I hope you continue to come on over and listen to all the other episodes as well, and check out all the other reviews and the other episodes that we have lined up. Other than that, guys, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Stay safe once again, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of What's Poppin' Podcast. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Tim. See you guys
next time, guys.